Thanks for joining me on a call today. So Brooke is a senior loan officer at Atlantic Coast Mortgage, and she's going to give us some information today on home loans for prospective buyers and for people who already own their homes. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks, Hank. Happy to be here.
Okay, cool. Well, I've been reading a lot about forbearance, and I've been getting a lot of questions about it from certain homeowners. So what is it, and who does it who makes sense to use it and not use it?
Yeah, so forbearance is essentially delaying your mortgage payment. So
Mhm.
it was a component of the stimulus bill that was recently passed. So it's meant for folks who truly can't make their mortgage payment right now, to give them an opportunity to postpone that payment. So what's important to remember is that it's not forgiveness. It is just delaying the payment. So if it's something that you think that you need, and that's going to be specific to the individual, right? If they feel that they can't make their mortgage payment right now, they need to
Yeah,
get in touch with who they make payments to and figure out what their repayment terms are going to be, to make sure that that's not going to set them up for failure in the future. What we want to try to avoid is a balloon payment. So if they say, okay, we can delay your payments, but then, when they come due, it's all going to be due at once. That's going to create even multiplied hardship for people. So just, look to see what your servicer is going to require.
yeah, absolutely. It seems like for people who really need it, it could be a good option, but if you don't really need it sounds like you want to avoid it, right?
Yeah, that would be my recommendation because there's a variety of ways that forbearance could potentially impact your credit, even if it doesn't in and of itself hurt your credit score.
Mhm.
Again, if it sets you up for failure in terms of getting caught up on your payments in the future, you don't want things like late payments or delinquencies, or even loan modifications in some scenarios reported on your credit report if you can help it. And that forbearance, although it's not supposed to negatively impact you, it can hurt your chances of being approved for credit in the future. So sure, my advice is if you need it, then get in touch with your servicer to see what that's going to look like. If you don't need it, continue making your mortgage payment.
Yeah, exactly. Um, okay, so here's another question. So let's say someone is pre-approved,
Mhm.
probably sometime in February, January, or December, and they're still looking to buy a home, but they haven't yet, and their income has been negatively impacted in the last few weeks from COVID-19. Um, what is different about their purchasing power in their prospective budget? I mean, how are you factoring that into what they can be pre-approved for?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, my advice to anyone who was pre-approved at all, and who hasn't purchased yet is to check back in with whoever did your pre-approval, because whether or not your income was impacted because of COVID-19, your pre-approval could be impacted. So even if you have the same income you did before, we're seeing creditors increase their credit score requirements. We're seeing some investors just exit the market altogether. So
Mhm.
either way, even if your income hasn't been impacted at all, I would check in on that to see if your loan terms that are available to you are still truly available. If your income has been impacted, it is just so unique to what exactly your industry is, that I would recommend just being as transparent as possible, checking in with whoever did your pre-approval, give them the information they need, because that's information that you're going to want to communicate to them on the front end so that you can, take the steps needed to make sure that you can still get your loan. And if you can't get your loan, of course, that's something you want to know prior to trying to make an offer or something like that.
Okay, so they've got to go through the process again, it sounds like.
Yeah, and it might just be like, hey, that works fine. This is what we're going to need to see to verify it. And then that way you have the next steps you need to take. But unfortunately, the answer for some people might be, hey, you can't get your loan right now. So that's really important information to know, if you're in the process of trying to buy a home.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. And then for what about the other people that are fortunate enough to not have their income affected? Do they need to
Yeah,
get
I mean,
re-approved?
yeah, we're still lending, we're still doing purchases and refinances.
Hmm.
Like I said, we are seeing investors change their guideline in response to just seeing additional risk in the market right now. So no matter who you are or what you're approved for or how strong your income is or how good your credit is, I would recommend checking in to see if anything about your specific scenario has changed, because even if nothing about you financially has changed, potentially the loan program you were looking to use could have. So it's a good idea for anyone who's pre-approved to check in on that. And in your network, you probably have, other realtors you work with. You guys are going to want to be looking, like if you have properties under contract, listings that are under contract, checking in with those folks who are buying it. Same idea, to make sure that they're not having issues getting their financing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Brooke, I appreciate all the information and your answers today. I know you cleared it up for a lot of people that have been asking about it.
Yeah,
So,
thanks, Hank. Thanks for looking into that. I think a lot of people feel well served from getting some more information on those topics.
good, good. And it's good to hear that some people are still moving forward and transacting and purchasing just like before, right?
Yep, absolutely. We're seeing a lot of it.
Okay, good. Well, Brooke, thanks for the time, and let's do it again soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Hank.
Okay, thanks, Brooke.
Bye-bye.